For over 4 years now, Phil and I have been keeping the peace and helping couples decide whether to love it or list it. So, we thought the time had come to catch up with some of our combative couples. Back in 2015, the Callan family enlisted our help as they battled over the future of their 4-bed house in Wiltshire.
It's an ugly house. I want a nice house. I want a pretty house. I've been making do for 15 years and enough is enough.
This house is great. It's got everything we need.
And Phil raised the stakes when he found them charming houses full of character.
Parquet flooring.
I'm moving here.
And it was gasps all round for my bold plan to extend the kitchen.
Gosh.
Oh. Oh.
Let's not count any chickens before they hatch.
I guess it boils down to the question.
Are you going to love it?
Or are you going to list it?
But potty about pets, with the Callans, you never quite knew what they were going to do next. So 3 years on, I'm going back to find out.
We wouldn't have gone so far if it hadn't been for Kirstie and Phil.
But before we find out where they ended up, let's look back to our first meeting with Matt and Luce in 2015.
Do you think you've got the best geography of anyone in the UK?
Well, there can't be too many people that have been to as many places in the UK. 15 years of this job.
Criss-crossing the British Isles.
Yeah.
You should get a medal, Phil.
Well, for putting up with you, 15 years.
And so it begins.
This week, we're heading to Royal Wootton Bassett in Wiltshire, one of only 3 towns to have had the royal title bestowed upon it.
Under an hour from Bristol and 2 from London, this peaceful setting is being disrupted by a pair of warring newlyweds.
I'm Lucia, also known as Luce.
A lot of other things you're known as well.
Is this how it's starting?
Yeah.
Matt and Luce may only have married recently, but Luce has been living in this house for 16 years. It was 4 years ago that Matt moved in, and they've been arguing about it ever since.
Every day. Hate this house. If we didn't live here, we'd live somewhere else.
Constantly looking, aren't I?
Yeah.
So what are they fighting over? It's a 1970s 4-bedder, valued just over £300,000. It's tucked away down a quiet cul-de-sac and conveniently placed for Royal Wootton Bassett's amenities.
But special care baby nurse Luce is desperate for something with a bit of character.
It's an ugly house. It's ugly. I want a nice house. I want a pretty house. I've been making do for 15 years and enough is enough.
School caretaker Matt, on the other hand, could stay forever.
This house is great. It's got everything we need. It's got space, it's got convenience, it's detached. It's just really, really good.
Except Luce thinks it's really, really bad. Her main bugbear is the cramped kitchen.
Anytime I try to do anything in the kitchen, I either knock something or somebody knocks into me or somebody tells me to move.
Matt and Luce have 6 children from previous marriages, and 3 still live at home. They like nothing better than getting ready in the kitchen, together, at the same time.
But this gaggle of girls and hairspray are not alone.
We've got 4 cats.
2 of which are feral.
They're not feral.
They are feral.
Yep, there's pussies galore.
I'm ignoring that. I'm sure Matt meant rescued rather than feral. Add to this 2 rescued dogs and rescued chickens.
Hello, babies.
And it seems the animals rule this house.
Cats come first.
And second, and third, and fourth. Yeah. Even the feral ones.
So can this house be somewhere they can all live happily ever after? Or is it time to move on?
You don't want to move, do you, Spots?
The battle lines are clearly drawn. Ready to play marriage, Councillor Phil?
It's a funny corner door, isn't it? Oh, Phil, they never ring the doorbell twice. Hello.
Hello. Good morning.
I'm Kirstie.
Hi.
I'm Luce.
Hello, Matt.
Hello, Phil.
How do you do? I understand there's a bit of a predicament.
Yes.
Yes, we need to move house soon.
No, Kirstie, we're going to stay.
Well, that was pretty unequivocal.
If we ever get this pair to meet in the middle, I'll want a nomination for a Peace Prize.
You want to move and Matt wants to stay.
Yeah, we have been having this argument for...
4 years.
Well, at least 2 of those 4 years, if not all the 4 years.
Can I ask what the girls think? Where are they at with this whole debate?
The eldest one living at home doesn't like change either. And her attitude was, well, the cats are going to die at some point, therefore we can use the conservatory when they die.
Are you genuinely telling me that the conservatory is only for the use of the
Yes.
Yes.
Why?
Where do the dogs live?
The dogs live in the
dogs
dining
live
room.
in the dining room.
Just there.
Slow down, slow down, slow down. Does the fact that the cats are in there mean no one else can use it?
Oh, no, you could go in there, but you probably wouldn't want to.
No.
It's lovely that Luce has given up part of her home for these rescued animals. But to make the house work for the humans living here, I need to see the rest of it for myself.
And I need to see what my property search is up against.
Come prepared. My motto.
Starting with what I already fear will be my nemesis, the outside space.
Oh, my goodness me. The chicken run is huge. We've got chickens at home. One of them's called Kirstie because it never stops talking.
Oi, I heard that, Farmer Phil.
The chickens have 3/4 of the garden, the cats and the dogs have half the house. This is utter madness. I've never seen anything like it. And they will be moving.
Not if I have my way.
Phil,
Yes, coming. Your ladyship.
very smart boots you've got.
Oh, thank you. Just right for walking in chicken poo, I tell you.
I just had an overwhelming desire to put a cat poo in your shoes.
Did you just?
Yes, there's a theme here, Phil. The animals have taken over, but they are not going to concede any territory, Phil.
And that theme continues in the small dining room behind the kitchen.
So they don't use this at all?
No.
It's just the 2 dogs and a massive great freezer.
Yeah.
Excuse the pun, but it's a bit of a dog's dinner, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm convinced I can find Luce a kitchen diner to die for. My listed budget of £395,000 is £80,000 more than the local average for a detached property. So I'm hoping it won't be too hard to find somewhere that solves both their problems.
But of course, on top of that budget, they'll have to set aside just under £10,000 for stamp duty and roughly another £8,000 for legal and moving costs. So that's just under 18 grand of their hard-earned money into other people's pockets. I'd like to see them invest this cash in their house, which is simply suffering from poor layout. So they've given me a love-it budget of £20,000.
You see, the thing is that this is the sort of rogue room because it's basically just a passageway.
With 4 doors in it.
Yeah,
One of
4
which
doors.
is blocked up and unusable. The conservatory, which they never use.
No.
And another room, the snug.
Tap that wall behind you.
That's very solid.
Very solid,
As is that.
as is that.
With none of the 3 reception rooms doing their job, the family have started to overuse the smallest rooms in the house. To see just how much, we set up our cameras to monitor how they use these spaces on a daily basis.
Luce spends almost half of her time in the boxy kitchen she hates.
The small kitchen doesn't really concern Matt, as he spends almost half of his time in the safe haven of his study.
If the Callans join the 30% of homes that have kitchen diners, I'm certain that Luce wouldn't be driven mad by other members of the house constantly congregating next to her cooker.
So we know the kitchen is just too small.
I don't know how they've survived as long as they have with 5 adults.
No.
To fix this house, I need to revamp the layout and make the living spaces work for everyone, animals included. The snug off the living room needs its own door, and a more private family room will then hopefully force the girls out of the kitchen. Said kitchen will be bigger, better, and somewhere Luce can be proud of. All of this I intend to do within their 20k budget.
Which will make this place all the more sellable when Matt and Luce decide to list it.
I can do a lot with this house. It's fantastic space, and I can spruce it up so you're going to want to stay, Luce. I'm sure of that.
Yes.
I'll take some convincing.
What are you hoping for, Luce?
I don't necessarily need a house as big as this, a better design of house where the space is more usable. Okay. And it has to have a garden big enough for all the animals.
So, actually, you've just filled my heart with joy, because you've said that the house doesn't have to be as big as this.
No.
It just has to be better arranged.
Yeah.
And the garden actually doesn't have to be as big as that.
Not quite as big. They don't need quite so much space.
Are there any local farms for sale?
So with their 395 grand budget, I need to find a characterful property in a quiet area which suits everyone, especially the all-important animals.
There's another cat. There's cats everywhere. There's cats, chickens, dogs, daughters, everything. Blimey.
So now he knows what he needs to get, and he's ready to go out there and do it.
Don't like to see a grown man crying. I think you might this time.
What, you?
Yeah.
You'll be fine, Phil. You'll go out, you'll see a lot of houses, you'll wish you had 600,000, you'll come back, you'll look at what I've done, you'll concede defeat, end of story.
You've got it all worked out.
It's a good, solid house with a lot of... It has potential.
Who are you trying to convince? It's not working
You.
for me. No, it's not working.
We're back visiting Matt and Luce Callan, who enlisted our help in 2015. After finding themselves at loggerheads over their 4-bed house in Royal Wootton Bassett.
I've been making do for 15 years and enough is enough.
This house is great. It's got everything we need.
The animals had taken over, and it was all to play for.
This house makes me feel like spitting feathers.
They both agreed on one thing. The outdoor space was fantastic.
Thank you, girls, whoever laid it.
But it was the jumbled living space indoors I needed to reorganise to convince them to love this property, and I was willing to use any means possible.
This is where I'm doing my house voodoo. Watch and learn.
House voodoo? You're gonna need all the help you can get, love. I'll be using some of my own magical methods to show Matt and Luce the advantages of listing. With their £395,000, I've been searching high and low on the hunt for a property that can woo Matt away from his current home.
I think we do have a lot of boxes to tick on the search, because you've got 3 grown-up children who want big bedrooms.
I'm still pretty certain we will stay.
And Luce?
See, I have faith in you. I keep saying to everybody, it'll be fine. Phil will show Matt something that he'll like.
Now you've bigged me up, Luce. Let's hope I can deliver. My first property is in Minety, just 15 minutes from their current home, but so much more tranquil and has the character that Luce has been dreaming of.
So,
Nice.
the Printing Works house.
Certainly got character. It's lovely.
It's also got parking, but you needed an awful lot more.
We do.
And there's quite a bit on offer here.
A lot indeed. This charming house, built with Cotswold stone, is on the market for £400,000, so £5,000 over budget. But it's been on sale for 4 months, so I think there'll be room for movement. Although it is slightly smaller than their place, it's bursting with character. With feature fireplaces, sash windows and stylish beams, this is a far cry from their bland, boxy abode. It's got 2 reception rooms, a study, and a beautiful kitchen diner that's perfect for Luce. They've said they'd consider a different-sized garden, but I'm hoping this one works for all of their beloved menagerie.
Come on in.
You've got your fire.
It's not a boring rectangle.
First room we're in, and it's got a feature fireplace.
However, this isn't the biggest room.
Oh.
Now, there'll be no more cramped mornings in this house.
Wow.
In that kitchen.
Gosh,
Real good.
Pretty good, isn't it?
it's not bad at all.
So the house is impressing downstairs. Hopefully the features upstairs will do the same.
Yeah, I like this.
Right.
Like this room. There'll be a fight over whose room this is. Oh, more beams.
Oh, that's nice. That's
Oh,
got
like
character.
this room. Could you see yourself in a house like this?
Yeah,
You could.
yeah.
Wow. Wow.
I know.
The character oozing out of this 1896 printing factory has certainly worked its charm on Matt. I might have a chance here.
Now, obviously, the garden at yours is a real joy for you and the animals. This isn't as good, but I still think you could have chickens. You might not be able to have quite as many.
My concern with the garden is I have dogs and I have cats. They won't share space in that the dogs will chase the cats.
She's sacrificing herself for those rescued animals again.
I really hadn't appreciated that the dogs and the cats need entirely segregated areas of the garden.
That's a new one on me.
You're making it harder than it is.
I must admit, that's a new one on me, because dogs and cats...
No, they don't, the cats never go in the garden as it is. You know this.
No, that's true.
It just hasn't occurred to you because that's how it's always been.
Yeah.
But in my head, I immediately think dogs, cats,
And I thought it was Luce that would throw me a bone here. Looks like I've been barking up the wrong tree.
Where do I go from here? Because I've got the right house and all the people are happy. It's just the dogs and the cats can't get on. So that's a new challenge for another property. Yippee!
Good luck with that one, Pip. Back at base, I've had a good old poke about, and I know just what will convince Luce to stay put.
This house needs simplifying. It needs a good clear out, but it's not a lost cause by any stretch of the imagination.
I want to start with the layout. I want to knock down walls, of course, but I also want to put some up. I just hope Matt, and more importantly Luce, can get on board with my plan.
So, you recognise this?
We do. That's a lovely house.
This is your existing kitchen. Right. Are you ready to see what's underneath here?
Yeah.
Gosh. OK. Oh.
Where's the door gone from? Oh, wait a minute. Oh.
I'm not surprised Matt and Luce sound shocked, because these are ambitious plans. A total redesign of the ground floor layout, all for £20,000. At the moment, the 4-door living room feels like Piccadilly Circus. So blocking up 2 of the doorways, I'll give the girls a perfect space to chill out. And by adding a new door into the snug, I'll give Matt and Luce the private haven they've been craving. Kitchen diners have increased in popularity by 50% in a generation, and here I'll create an open plan space for everyone, including the dogs.
What we're trying to do is make everyone's life in this house easier.
No, I like this.
You, Luce, either come home or go to a very stressful job.
Yeah.
You need to be able to come home and curl up, undisturbed. Or sit down at your kitchen table with a cup of tea and not have anyone tell you to move.
You're in the way, Mum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone's got their space.
Do you think that's all doable within the budget?
I think it's tight, but it is doable.
I think it will help sell the house, definitely. So I'm happy to go ahead.
Right?
And if she tells me I'm happy with it, I'm happy with it.
Yeah. Okie dokie.
I don't think it'll mean selling the house, Luce. I'd put money on it, making you want to stay here forever. Seven weeks later, Matt and Luce gave the works the green light and we're off.
Big thing today is the walls coming down. You can't make an omelette without breaking a few eggs, I suppose.
The builders are in and the animals are out. Removing a structural wall requires professional advice and, of course, a bit of welly. See, Phil, nothing unites a couple like my old friend the sledgehammer.
We'll see, Kirst, we'll see.
It's going to be pretty good. It's going to be pretty damn good, actually. It's going to be nice.
And with a house full of toil and rubble, it's the perfect time for me to show them what life could be like if they took their £395,000 budget and moved elsewhere. And as we head to the desirable village of Cliff Pipard, it seems everyone's starting to think my way.
What do you think of the build so far, though?
Well, I tell you what, Phil. At the moment, if you can find a house that we can move into today, you've won.
Yeah, we'd go.
Tell me why. What's
The
going on?
bloody work, absolutely.
It's chaotic.
I think it's at its worst.
Yeah, it is
Yeah.
dreadful now.
So this is really interesting.
You're in.
I'm
you're
in with a shout.
You are in with a shout. Like I said, you find anything and we'll move in today.
I think Team List It might be gaining its 3rd member. And just in time too, because this house is a corker. Matt will be wary of the parking situation, but it's a generous plot, so the option to build a driveway is there. He's got to appreciate the sweeping views, though, and Luce will love the period charm. Upstairs, there are 4 good-sized bedrooms and a large family bathroom. Downstairs, 2 reception rooms and a study. There's also a huge country-style kitchen, perfect for all the family. There's 2 gardens, so there's separate space for the cats and dogs, and pretty much the whole of London Zoo if needed. It's been on the market for 8 months at £400,000, so it's slightly over budget, but I think there's potential for a deal.
Kitchen, very much hub of the home, communal space in the centre of
big,
the
isn't
home. This is where it all goes on.
The kitchen is exactly as I would plan a kitchen. It's a country-style kitchen. Parquet flooring. I got parquet flooring.
Steady.
I like parquet.
Let's keep going.
Oh,
Massive fire.
And look at this. Look at the seating. Loads.
Yes. It's a really great room.
Yeah.
double doors into the garden. It's like it's ready-made. It's saying, here you go, this is Luce's house.
It is ready made, yeah.
For me. I'm moving here.
Luce is sold already, and I haven't even played my trump card yet.
It's the biggest garden that I've seen on this search. It's about 135 foot.
See? Yeah.
The real joy of it is hidden down the end.
Ooh. Oh.
Whoa.
And your
Whoa.
piece de la resistance.
Yay! Chicken run! And there's fruit trees.
Bit of cover for them.
Yeah.
Good.
This
Yep.
is good.
It's too
yeah.
Well, that's the chickens happy. Now for the rest of the house.
Lots of head height.
Just for you.
No, there is for you. Look, hello.
Yeah,
How
yeah.
tall do you think you are?
That's true.
Definitely could work for us. More so than the other house because
Oh yeah, yeah.
nothing-
Definitely more than the other house.
there's nothing missing, so
There was quite a bit missing actually.
no, there isn't.
I feel like Matt's trying very hard to find fault here.
Are we happy? Are we in a nice place?
I'm in a very nice place.
I have reservations.
Yeah.
Which you know. I need to think.
This is a bigger scale of what you're trying to achieve.
This is. I've now decided. This is
It's workable.
snug, steady.
It's making you think.
Bedrooms all work.
This is good, productive conversations. Come on.
I think you know how I feel about this house. I would move here tomorrow. In fact, I would move in today.
When I saw this and its garden, I mean, it's 10 out of 10. Luce has already moved in. I've just got to get Matt over this little business about the parking, and I think it's job done.
Don't count Luce's chickens too soon, Mr. Spencer. We're far from the home straight. In 2015, Matt and Luce Callan called on Phil and I to help them to decide whether to love or list their home.
The animals have taken over, but they are not going to concede any territory, Phil.
Excuse the pun, but it's a bit of a dog's dinner, isn't it?
Yeah.
7 weeks after first presenting my plans to them, I caught up with Matt and Luce to check in on the progress of the build.
So, I'm back in Royal Wootton Bassett. When you visit someone and you draw a plan, you don't know whether they're going to take you up on your offer, as it were, and go with your plan. But Matt and Luce have really done that. And this is a short build, it's only 4 weeks, so there's no room for error, particularly as the budget is teeny tight. So I'm going to go and see how it's going.
The builders have been very busy. The kitchen walls have come down, the lights are up, and most of the plastering is complete. I'm thrilled.
Hello.
Hello, I was wondering where you two were.
Hiding.
Standing here, what do you feel?
That's good.
Definitely. It's bigger than I envisaged.
Yeah.
Definitely bigger. It's
Yeah,
a
it
nice,
is nice.
big area. Won't crash into anybody.
No, it's good.
No.
It is very good.
Fitting doors into the back of this kitchen, where a window previously sat, will magnify the space in this once confined room. It is lovely to see people take a good plan and add their own touches.
Because we can open the doors and let the dogs out. It's
Yeah.
easier for them.
I knew it was going to involve the animals
Oh,
somehow.
God, yes.
I know, those animals are costing you a small fortune.
But they are so worth it.
When building, a 10% contingency is very sensible. Matt and Luce have gone over that with a budget of £23,500 to allow for the double doors. But I think they'll make that investment back. More importantly, though, Luce is now starting to talk like she wants to stay.
I'm looking forward to seeing my kitchen cupboards, and I'm looking forward to everything being contained within them rather than spread around the house. And yeah, it'll be lovely. It will be lovely.
Right, well, you heard it here first.
Anyway, while Kirstie continues to work her magic on Matt and Lucy's current home, I've conjured up another spellbinding property that could be their future home. They loved the last house we saw, but there's always room for one more.
So how are we doing?
Good.
Matt, you seem, well, quite enthused.
I am enthused.
Time for change.
Yeah.
Yeah, you said it.
Yes,
you said
he
time
did
for
say
change.
that.
He did. He said it.
Let's write him down and sign it.
You could read it into time for change to the house.
No, you can't read it any other way.
We're off to the nearby village of Torkenham, just 10 minutes' drive from where they live now. I know Luce in particular really fell for my last property, but I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't show them a bigger, less expensive option.
Pretty looking house, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is.
And it is detached.
It is.
Well spotted,
I
Luce.
noticed the gap either side.
Luce is right, it's detached, and it's about 175 square feet larger than their current place. Read it and weep, Allsopp. It comes with a stunning kitchen diner, plus utility room, 3 reception rooms downstairs, and 4 generously sized bedrooms upstairs. It also has a decent-sized back garden that leads onto the village fields, which should keep all the animals out of mischief. Plus, it's bang on budget at £395,000.
Now, this is one of 3 reception rooms.
That's nice.
So this is kind of a bit
This
of
is relaxing.
relaxing, snug. Got
I like the way
wood burner.
Comes with a cat.
Comes with the cat. Actually, in total square footage, this is the biggest house I'm going to show you.
Really?
It's bigger than yours. I know you've seen something that's sort of taken your fancy a little bit.
A little bit, yeah, okay.
But let's keep our eyes open as to what this could offer.
Yeah.
And what it offers next is a fantastic kitchen diner.
It's light, it's bright, contemporary, easy to live in.
Yeah.
I don't like it as much as the other one. It doesn't have as much character.
On paper, this house ticks all their boxes and then some. Detached, bigger, cheaper, with a garden that would be great for the animals.
It might have been nice if they left a beam or two.
Yeah, but, you know.
But they seem unimpressed, and I think I know why.
The fact that I walked in the door of this house and I knew immediately it wasn't going to be the house for me, that it just proves that all I can think about is the kitchen in that other house and the garden.
Their hearts and minds are in property too. So as the wall says, I'm just going to sit back and relax. Kirstie's got a lot of catching up to do, so I better let her know the good news. I've got a new name for her. Catch up, Kirstie.
Very clever, Phil. And just 5 weeks later, building work was complete, and it was time for Phil and I to return to find out what Matt and Lucy's final decision would be.
In all things, I think of what the Queen might do and try and do something similar. I'm going to be honest with you, Phil. If it wasn't for those flaming pets, I genuinely believe our pair would be on the move.
I'm going to stop you there, Kirstie, because that doesn't sound very queenly.
You probably sorted the house out, but I know that I showed them some really interesting properties. One was particularly standout. It could go either way.
You're right, Phil. Time to find out.
Different from the first time we came here.
Hello. Good morning.
Hey.
Hello.
How you doing?
Very well, thank you.
doing?
Nice to see you again.
Morning.
There's no time to waste. I can't wait for Phil to see the new kitchen. By uniting 2 boxy, underused rooms, I've revolutionised Lucy's most precious space. They've done some of the work themselves, so they've been able to spend a little extra on the more important things, like work surfaces, flooring, and new airy double doors, which look terrific.
Ta-da.
Oh, whoa. Oh, jeez.
It's such a great long wall. It's such a great space.
It is.
I'm quite blown away.
It's good, isn't it?
You can really sit here quite peacefully in the morning, can't you?
You've reclaimed the dining room from the dogs. Where do the dogs go?
Well, they love it. They're still in here.
They still come in here, yeah.
They love the long
For
stretch.
some reason, they're much happier now. They don't have
Yeah.
that barrier of a wall, and they can't see cats in the other room.
God, you really have gone to town, haven't you?
Yeah. A side product of what we've done is that it now works really well for the animals.
Yeah.
I could spend all day, quite literally in this kitchen, just sort of admiring how great it looks, the cupboards, how much easier it's going to be to live in here.
It is.
Such a nice room.
Okay. All right.
Feeling the pinch there, Spencer? Wait until you see the living room. I've converted a glorified corridor into a peaceful private zone for the girls. By blocking up 2 doorways and shifting the furniture, it's now a relaxing room in its own right.
I love that this space belongs to the girls. What we've done is we've stopped that thing of everything essentially being a passageway.
Yeah.
This is their space. Once they come in here, nobody's going through here.
No.
And is that a piece of antique furniture I see?
Ah, well, you did well on that.
£22.
You are kidding me.
Really? Good for you.
£22. Oh my giddy
Yeah.
aunt.
Beautiful,
People who
isn't it?
buy new furniture
Beautiful.
are bonkers.
I know.
They need their heads examined.
And it's great because we've got 3 drawers, 1 for each girl.
This is a cracking price, £22. That's amazing.
But that's not all that's amazing. By moving the study wall and the old coat rack, we've created a new private entrance into the now secluded snug.
I was just remembering the first time we came here.
Slightly different, isn't it?
That corridor wasn't there.
Yes. No?
That wall's new.
Yeah.
Yes. And it's very interesting how much bigger it feels
Yeah. Open that up.
standing
completely.
here.
Yeah.
By removing the old snug door and creating a new entrance, the Victorian-themed snug has become a private room packed with charm and is somewhere that Matt and Luce can relax together away from the more hectic areas of the house.
This room is looking
Yeah.
It's lovely, isn't it?
absolutely fantastic.
Oh, it's lovely, yeah.
It must be so cosy in
It
here.
is. This is our Victorian room.
The decor, the look of it, that's entirely yours.
But we probably wouldn't have got there if you hadn't had the initial visualisation of how it could look. I wouldn't have thought of doing that, ever.
And I don't like change, so we actually decided that we wouldn't have done any of this without a kick up the bum.
All this for £23,500, which is only £5,500 more than what they would waste on stamp duty and moving costs if they chose to list it.
All right, well, let's see what they think. It's decision time.
Before you reach any decisions that you could subsequently regret, I think it would be useful just to cast your minds back.
Do you think they won't have stuck in their minds?
Well, I know the second one would have stuck in your minds, the one at Cliff Pipeford.
Yeah.
Because it just had you guys written all over it. The layout was almost as though you designed it yourselves, wasn't it?
It was a lovely house, yeah.
That house number 2, it is still available. Just saying.
No pressure.
I'm just pointing that out for now. Make of it what you will.
Going back to how amazing this house now looks.
It does.
We have this kitchen, which is far larger.
Yep.
I mean, what you've got here is really 3 proper reception rooms and a lovely eating kitchen.
Yeah. Not just an eating kitchen, it's a fully functional working kitchen.
I guess it boils down to the question.
Are you going to love it?
Or are you going to list it?
I think Matt and I have had to learn compromise, both of us. And my feeling is I do love the house, but I would still happily move. And I'm glad that we've been able to realise its potential before moving on, but I would still quite like a move.
And I've been educated in the fact that I can now move because having been able to live through this, which to me was a nightmare, I now know that I can do a move.
Ultimately, it ends up that we do list the property and move on.
I'm really pleased that you have gone through this process, Matt, and that what Luce wants is something that you can do together.
Yeah. And we actually are definitely looking at the future in much more positively.
Yeah.
Because in the past, I was always keeping quiet, thinking, yeah, she'll stay, be nice, just don't say anything, don't rock the boat. Then you two came and sunk the boat, sunk it almost. But of course, the end result is perfect.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Well done. And they lived happily ever after.
Well.
A house that works for all 5 adults in Matt and Lucy's family and the animals for just over £23,000 is something I'm pretty proud of. But getting this pair on the same page after 4 years of squabbling is nothing short of miraculous.
I couldn't agree more. I'm so chuffed for Matt and Luce, and I'm even more chuffed that it was Dr. Phil who helped them see the light.
Oh, come on, you can smile about it.
Celebrations all round indeed.
So go on, Phil, let's see what a winner looks like.
And an exciting new chapter awaited for every member of the family. Furry and feathered ones too. And if I know Matt and Luce, there'll be surprises in store.
Three years ago, I left the animal-loving Callan family in Royal Wootton Bassett. But I've always wondered what happens to people who take Phil Spencer's advice. So, I'm here in Wales in my wellies.
Yes, home is no longer a 4-bed house in Royal Wootton Bassett. Since 2017, it has been this 1970s bungalow in the heart of rural Wales. Just over a year after Phil and I left them with their listed decision, Matt and Luce sold up and moved 115 miles west to the remote spa village of Llangammarch Wells, located 50 miles north of Swansea, their closest city.
Oh, here comes another one.
Now both retired and with all their children having flown the nest, Matt and Luce have decided to sacrifice convenience for provincial charm.
I've come through some stunning countryside to get here, but this is very remote. It's a long way from their old home and up quite a steep hill. Ah, I'm already spotting animals.
Although the location might have come as a shock, it's no surprise that they've picked a house with 2.5 acres of land, even more space for the animals, as was always the case with this family. And it's just as well. There have been a few new additions since the upsticks, including a pair of rescue hedgehogs and Percy the peacock. It looks like Luce might have prioritised the pets once again, as although charming, this isn't the character property she had her heart set on.
Hello, there's a familiar sound. The dogs are going at it. They are. God, I can't
Kirstie.
believe
Nice
how
to see you again.
far away you are.
It's great, isn't it?
Stone's throw.
It's 3 hours past your old home.
Yeah.
Can I see inside?
You may.
After you, ladies.
Well, this pretty bungalow certainly has a lot to offer. Starting with a much improved curb appeal. Inside, there are 3 good-sized bedrooms, bathroom and an extra WC. A lovely cosy sitting room and a great open-plan kitchen diner, even bigger than the one I helped them create, which they did enjoy for a whole year after we left, before they decided on the big move.
We agreed we would stay put until the children had finished their secondary education.
Yeah.
And just as they were nearing the end of that, we put the house on the market and it sold the day after we put it on the market. And then we panicked and thought, oh no, where are we going to buy? What are we going to do now?
Yeah. Why Wales?
We looked all over England. We even looked up as far as Scotland. I kind of considered Ireland and decided that really Wales was going to offer us as much as we could hope for.
Did you do the right thing getting in touch with Phil and I?
Yes.
Oh, most definitely.
I'm very set in my ways, and I definitely needed a kick up the bum. I needed somebody else to say, you need to do this.
And it obviously helped us sell the house.
Yeah.
Look how quick, I
think it did.
And at a really good price.
I'm thrilled the work we did together enabled them to move to the country. With their old house selling for a fantastic £365,000, Matt and Luce made back what they spent on the renovation plus another £38,000. So the work was a good investment. They bought the bungalow for £275,000, and by financially downsizing, they are now living mortgage-free.
Ooh, this is cosy. This is a very good-sized room.
It is. They are good-sized rooms, yeah.
Yeah.
It is nice.
Space was one of Matt and Luce's biggest issues in their old home. Here, while there's one less floor, their new bungalow gives them the living dimensions they've always wanted. In fact, they both love this place so much, they haven't minded taking on a bit of DIY, which Matt even seems to be quite enjoying.
Now, what's going on with the ceiling?
We have a bit of a leak. I have replaced the whole roof.
Right.
We phoned over 20 builders. 3 got back to us. One of us gave a silly quote, just added zeros, I think. And so that kind of left us no option. So I went up there and I stripped all the tiles off, all the felt off, everything, replaced the lot, waited for the rain, and it leaked again. So now I'm chasing the leaks.
It seems to me that when I first met you, although you were a handyman in many ways, you didn't like the idea of doing work.
I couldn't see the point.
Here,
In Bassett.
you're up on the roof.
Yeah.
You've created a sort of chicken run of, you know, Buckingham Palace proportions, fencing all round.
I've learned a few more skills.
I, for one, am delighted that Matt's getting stuck in with the work. That fearless attitude is what Team Love It is all about. But as ever, Matt and Luce have put the comfort of their animals before themselves. I knew outside space was crucial for them, but I didn't expect to see quite this much of it. Along with the paddock, there's over an acre. The grounds also offer an impressive outdoor chicken run.
Now, I wouldn't call myself an expert on chickens, but where I come from, that is not a chicken.
He's a wannabe.
Yeah,
He's a wannabe, is he?
Yeah.
Right,
He's
okey-doke.
trying very hard.
How many cats are there these days?
Still 4.
Still 4. And the dogs?
2.
2 dogs, 4 cats. How many Angora rabbits?
3.
How many chickens?
5.
And a peacock.
Yeah.
I feel a sense of déjà vu because I do remember discussing where the animals came in the pecking order.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, that's why we're here.
That's why we're here.
That's why you're here.
Yeah.
When I first met them, 3 of Matt and Luce's 6 children were living at home.
So where are they?
So 2 are still in Bassett. They
Right.
live together. One
Okay.
of them got married, and then the other one moved in with her.
Right.
And Chloe's at university in Bristol.
What did the children say about you moving?
2 that drive were fine.
Yes.
The 2 that don't drive weren't so keen.
Funny thing is now, because of the hectic lifestyle in Bristol,
Yes.
Chloe loves coming back
Yeah,
now
she
because
now
it's
loves it.
peaceful, quiet,
Yeah.
and
Once
relaxing.
she's got here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it certainly is an idyllic spot for Matt, Luce and their children. But whether this is their forever home, I'm not certain.
We realistically are going to make the very, very most of this while we can.
A serious concern has been Luce's health, as she's become quite unwell since we last met. She's been living for years with Crohn's disease, but could need urgent medical care at times. Although the isolation of the house was a big part of the appeal, in reality it also makes the travel to and from hospital a lot more difficult.
I don't think we'll be here forever. I would love to say I will be here forever. I anticipate being here a good 10 years.
Right,
I'm
okey-doke.
hopeful that my health will improve and that we will
And
be able to stay
How
here.
can we possibly leave Percy
And look at
behind?
Percy. I mean,
He's just
I've
glorious.
worried about what happens if he gets sick and I have to take him to the vet. How am I going to manage that?
I never quite know with you two when you are pulling my leg or when you are being deadly serious.
All joking aside, I couldn't be happier to see Matt and Luce truly embracing their new lifestyle and all it brings with it.
It seems to me that I could never have won, that you were always going to go.
Yeah.
It was getting a bit much, wasn't it?
Yeah, we had to move.
Do you feel day to day happier in this house?
Yes.
I'm totally happy
Yes.
living here.
This is the perfect moment for me to say congratulations.
Thank you.
You made the right move.
Yeah.
If we hadn't done it now, we would never have done it. Yeah. So, and it's better to do things you regret than not do things at all. So, and we don't regret this.
No, not at all, despite leaky roofs.
And I'm so glad to hear it.
Do you know what? In my mind, they're really Dr. and Mrs. Doolittle.
I don't think we would be here if we hadn't done Love It and List It.
If we hadn't had their input,
No.
I don't think we would be here now.
I think we'd still be pottering and tinkering around Bassett.
But the great thing is that Luce and Matt have found their settled place where they're happy and the animals are happy.
Phil was able to show us, or show me,
show you.
that it was possible to live somewhere else.
Yeah, to move somewhere else and for the better.
You should be proud of this one, Mr. Spencer.